Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Lüning, Horst Lüning, and I'm the master taster of Whisky.com. And today we have a look at the Bruichladdich Bere Barley, vintage 2008. What's the specialty about this bottle? Well, they use a different barley for the mashing. And this barley has its origin in the past, in the very past, and on the Orkney Islands, this south island of the Orkney Islands. Here. The Bruichladdich Provenance series. Über, this is a German word called über, and this means excellent, most excellent. Über. In spite of the cool Orkney climate, beer barley grows fast. It has long straw, prone to brackling in strong winds, and produces desperately low yields, 50% less than a modern crop. So you have less of barley from an acre of a barley field. So this means it's expensive. The small starch-rich grains have tested the mashman, wreaking havoc with our precious Victorian equipment. This is spirit from another place and time, a sensory journey to another age. It is probable that beer produced the original Ushkbaha, the water of life. For hundreds of years it was used by enterprising Scottish distillers producing both legal and illicit whiskey. They play every card, from legal to illegal, from enterprise, from Scottish, from nationality. This 2007 crop was grown on Orkney and supplied by the Agronomy Institute at Orkney College, UHY, working with the following local farmers: Duncan Cromarty at Richmond Villa on South Ronaldsay, Keith Arston at Skelbister in Arfir, weird names, and Magnus Spence from the Northfield on Burray. Distilled in February 2008 at Bruichladdich Distillery on the Isle of Islay. This beer barley has produced a single malt of quite singular character, ultimate originality, and exceptional provenance. It is often speculated how big the influence of the barley on the taste of the whiskey really is. Well, for me, from my personal experience, the influence of the barley is there, but it's quite small. Much more influence has the fermentation process, the time it takes to mature, to ferment the mash. So if you ferment it for 48 hours or for a long 72 or even 96 hours, this brings much more influence from the yeast into the mash. Well, there is a small influence of the barley, of course. If you grain it coarse or fine, or how hot the water is, and also the species of the crop. It doesn't matter, but only very little. This is fruity with a light sour note. It's like sour beers. Beer barley. Citrus is becoming stronger. And it's said it has apples and pears, but I do not find them. No. There's a little flowery component in it. It's not that intense. And a light maltiness in the back. So this dry, sour aroma is dominant. I had this quite often at Bruichladdich in the past. But this tastes a little different to the other Bruichladdich, which are more intense, which are not that sweet or, no, not sweet, that mellow. Have a sip, it's 50% ABV, so be careful not to have too much. The taste is completely different. It's very intense. It's spicy oakiness, nuts, and of course again the citrus. And it's said there should be a honey note, but I'm afraid no. And the aftertaste is quite long still there, and even despite the 50% ABV, there's no alcohol on your tongue, so it's quite smooth in the aftertaste. More fruit, less sourness. It's a good whiskey, but it's expensive. It's around 60 euros for a 6-year-old whiskey. Well, there's this originally beer barley from Orkney, but if you count everything together, how much barley is in a bottle of whiskey, then you reach 50-60 cents for the barley in a bottle of whiskey. And well, there's 50% yield on the barley field, so €1.20 or $1.20 in the bottle, and then it's quite rare, so double it again, €2.40. But compared to the very high price of 60 euros, this figure is too low to make an influence. So this one is expensive. It's an expensive whiskey. It's a good whiskey, but it's expensive. You have to be clear of that. This bottle is, of course, as always, at Bruichladdich Limited, and you have to look around to find this bottle on the shelves. But there are several other bottles which look quite similar, where there's another vintage on it, where you have a local barley from Islay, from the Isle of Islay, where Bruichladdich resides. I think I have tasted that local barley already. If yes, I put the video here. Yes, and that is for this bottle. Quite expensive, good quality. Thank you for watching, and feel free to share this video with your friends.